Hold on to your seats, because Erkan Merrick and Hazal Subasai have just set the internet ablaze with a breathtaking outdoor pregnancy photo session that feels less like a shoot and more like a living love letter. In each frame, Hazal glows under a halo of soft sunlight, cradled by greenery and flowers that seem to bloom simply to honor her. Beside her, Erkan stands with that quiet, unmistakable steadiness fans know so well, his hand at her back, his gaze warm, his presence a constant. Together they look like a chapter torn from a fairy tale, rewritten under the open sky, with every color, every breeze, every rustle of the leaves adding a subtle chorus to their joy as they prepare to welcome their little one. The very first image stunned everyone, Hazal in a flowing, understated dress, the fabric catching the light like water, her smile soft and reflective, her eyes bright with anticipation. Her posture said everything. Joy was there, but so was serenity, a calm that only true certainty can bring. Erkan leaned in just enough to be felt more than seen, one protective arm guiding, the other resting gently, a silhouette of devotion. It wasn't a performance, and that's why it stole hearts. It felt like a moment stolen from life, not staged for applause but shared because they wanted their supporters to witness the happiness that's been quietly growing with them. From the second the images landed online, the reaction was volcanic. Fans who have followed their journey since the early days were overwhelmed, commenting that Hazal had never looked more radiant and that Erkan's tenderness had never been more visible. People wrote about how their energy together had aged like fine art, more textured, more vulnerable, more human, how the laughter caught mid-sentence between them felt like a secret the camera was lucky to overhear. Their smiles weren't posed smiles, they were lived-in smiles, the kind that linger even after the shutter clicks. The styling was elegant yet effortless, as if the wardrobe had been summoned straight from the landscape, muted linens, warm earth tones, light fabrics that moved with the wind. A crown of small wildflowers threaded into Hazal's hair looked less like decoration and more like a whispered promise of spring. Erkan, in simple, tailored layers, matched the grounded beauty of the scene. The choices were intentional but never heavy-handed. The result? A harmony between the couple and their surroundings that made every composition feel like a gentle exhale. It was chic without being cold, artful without losing heart. What people kept returning to, though, wasn't just the aesthetic, it was the emotion that burned through each photograph. The way Hazal rested her hand over her belly with a look that was both curious and sure. The way Erkan's fingers brushed hers, a quiet conversation happening through touch. Every tilt of the chin, every stolen glance, every laugh caught on the edge of a breath felt like a small celebration of life unfolding in real time. The photos told a story of two people falling in love again, not just with each other, but with the future they're building. Comments poured in by the thousands, then by the tens of thousands. People congratulated them, praised the creative direction, and shared memories of how they first fell for Erkan and Hazal as on-screen partners, then as individuals who carved their own paths. There were fans who said they cried at their desks, fans who said they felt as if they were invited into a private family moment, fans who shared their own pregnancy stories in the replies. Some speculated, with playful excitement, that the subtle hues, soft creams, blush, and earthy greens were hinting at an upcoming gender reveal. Others refused to guess at all, insisting that the beauty of the moment was complete on its own. Within hours, edits and fan-made reels began to flood Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Clips of Wynn teasing Hazal's dress were slowed down and set to instrumental music, close-ups of Erkan's smile were looped with gentle fades, a single frame in which their foreheads almost touched was turned into an endless heartbeat. The shoot was everywhere, trending across timelines and For You pages, each repost layered with adoring captions and appreciative threads. If anything, the sheer volume of love displayed how deeply their story resonates. People recognize themselves in genuine happiness, and they run toward it when they find it. Behind the scenes, the details seemed minimal, no sprawling set, no heavy-handed props, no loud directives shouted across the field. Natural light was the star, and it did the heavy lifting, softening edges, painting warm halos along Hazal's profile, drawing a subtle architecture from the contours of Erkan's face. The backgrounds were serene and unintrusive, a path kissed by dappled shade, a meadow that opened like a secret, a grove where the leaves filtered afternoon sun into 1,000 gentle flecks. Every frame felt lived in, breathable. Every frame invited you to stay. It didn't take long for the conversation to broaden from admiration to meaning. People wrote about how the images reminded them that love, when it's real, doesn't need to scream to be heard. They wrote about how Erkan's quiet steadiness balanced Hazal's soft glow, how the language between them looked fluent and old, how their connection seemed protected by the world rather than staged against it. The photos weren't shouting for attention. They were welcoming it, and that difference was felt by anyone who lingered on them. A number of the top comments focused on the couple's ability to blend elegance with authenticity, something that's rare in a space often filled with glossy perfection. These pictures refused to feel manufactured. You could almost hear the rustle of grass, the hush of wind, the distant bird call threading through the moment. The intimacy was there without feeling exposed. The sense of privacy was intact even in a public post. Fans kept saying it felt like being invited to peek at a joyful chapter in the couple's life without opening the entire book, and that respectful boundary only made people love it more. And then, of course, the theories started. Was there a hidden code in the floral choices? Did the delicate ribbon around Hazal's waist hint at a reveal? Were the pastel accents carefully chosen to prepare everyone for the next announcement? The speculation was lighthearted and warm, grounded in genuine excitement rather than intrusive curiosity. No matter which side of the conversation people joined, the tone stayed celebratory. In every thread, you could feel the unity of a fan base that had grown up with these two, fiercely loyal and fiercely protective. Editors, photographers, and fashion bloggers chimed in, too, applauding the art direction for its restraint and its heart. A few noted that this is exactly how outdoor maternity sessions should be done, less spectacle, more soul. They highlighted how the natural lighting cradled the subject rather than flattening it, how the color palette told a story without overshadowing the people at its center, and how the candid gestures proved more powerful than any dramatic pose. The takeaway was clear: when real affection leads, everything else follows. The viral nature of the shoot wasn't just about two familiar faces drawing attention, it was about the way those faces softened when they looked at each other. Fans weren't just double-tapping a pretty picture, they were investing emotionally in the narrative behind it. They were connecting to the idea that love can be simple and profound at the same time, that excitement for the future can coexist with gratitude for the present. It's the kind of content that doesn't just trend, it lingers. For longtime supporters who first fell for their chemistry years ago, these photos felt like closure and a new beginning rolled into one. They've watched both of them grow through roles, through seasons of change, through the quiet in-betweens. Seeing Erkan's protective stance, gentle but unwavering, alongside Hazal's joyful calm offered a sense of continuity, as if the universe had been quietly setting the table for this exact feast of light and love. The emotions were layered, and that's what made them irresistible. It's easy to forget how powerful simplicity can be in a world where everything is staged to the inch. This session walked the line between polished and personal, and it did so with grace. No outsized props, no contrived scenarios, just two people stepping into a season of life so profound that even the smallest gestures carry epic significance. A brush of fingers becomes a promise. A half-smile becomes an oath. A single, steady breath becomes a shared prayer for what's to come. As the photos continued to circulate, clips from the day surfaced, fleeting moments captured on phones, Hazal laughing as a curl fell loose, Erkan tucking it behind her ear, a helper adjusting the hem while the couple stole a small moment to themselves, sunbeams sliding across a wooden bench as if blessing the frame. These behind-the-scenes glimpses didn't break the spell, they deepened it. They made clear that the beauty wasn't a lucky accident, it was the natural result of a safe, loving bubble where tenderness could bloom without fear. By evening, the shoot had become a talking point not only in fan circles but across entertainment pages. Yet the story never drifted into spectacle, and that felt deliberate. Everything about the rollout mirrored the spirit of the images, intentional, intimate, and full of heart. People began to ask for more. More photos, more moments, more answers. And in that asking, the bond grew even more personal. It was no longer just about admiring a couple, it was about standing with them in their anticipation. What makes this entire moment remarkable isn't just how the photos look, but what they made people feel. Every smile, every glance, every gentle touch reads like a celebration of life. It's a chorus of love that harmonizes with the hopes of everyone watching. This is the kind of story that transcends fandoms and demographics. It's a story about becoming, about the hush before a door opens, about the way daylight can look like a blessing when two people are ready to welcome a new heartbeat into their world. As we continue to follow Erkan and Hazal, it becomes increasingly clear that this shoot is not a standalone highlight, it is a luminous thread in a larger tapestry. Fans are on edge in the sweetest way, waiting for the next update, the next behind-the-scenes peek, the next milestone that will turn another ordinary day into something shimmering. Maybe it's a small detail, a sound, a song, a short caption, a candid selfie, anything that brings them a little closer to the unfolding story. One thing is certain, this couple has mastered the art of capturing hearts without losing themselves. They inspire by being themselves, by allowing sincerity to lead the way, by letting their love speak in a language that needs no translation. The timing is perfect, the energy is generous, and the memory they're creating will sit beautifully in the album of their lives and in the collective memory of those who have cheered them on for years. So, stay tuned, because as Erkan Merrick and Hazal Sabesai continue their journey into parenthood, we'll be right here bringing you every heartwarming update, every viral photo, and every joyful moment as it arrives, delivered with the same care and warmth that made this day shine. When the next chapter turns, you'll hear it first from Whispers of Turkish Stars, where we follow the light, honor the love, and celebrate the stories that remind us why we fell in love with them in the first place.